And welcome back, y'all, to the Pander and Slander podcast. We are back for an episode 3, a little bit of a break between our last episode. Life can get busy, but we are right here in the best time to be alive as a wrestling fan.
Well, Benny, you know what it was? We went to Fort Myers.
We did go to Fort Myers.
And that threw off the entire flow of everything.
It really did. No regrets. We got to see each other in person. But we are back. We're back talking wrestling content. And there's no better time to be talking wrestling content than right here, right now, the week before WrestleMania 42. Tell me how hyped you are, James.
You know, Benny, when you look at the card on paper, I get pretty hyped because the matches on here should deliver. You look at the card and you're thinking, this is a WrestleMania. Like, this should be a quality WrestleMania.
But then you had the build up.
McAfee is in the frickin' Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes shit, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, now I don't care about this anymore.
Yeah.
Now he's tweeting about Punk and Reigns, and I'm like, well, don't make me not care about that because I really do care about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm just kind of at a loss here because it's like, man.
It really has been a very interesting build-up. All the celebrities involved, all these like last-ditch ploys to get seats sold.
And they have done good builds for a lot of these matches. The problem is the main matches have been so bad. Like the Pat McAfee, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes stuff is so bad and hated that it's taking away from the very, very great build of Oba versus Brock, Bakir versus Morgan, Gunther versus Rollins in the limited time they've had have done fantastic. They are really building up this Vision and Usos LA Knight speed match. They've done a fantastic job building that match. These Jade versus Rhea is kind of mid, but we'll get into it. But like these matches have been like you don't really have to build the IC title ladder match. It's
just a ladder match, you know.
And so, but the Randy Orton Cody Rhodes is just taking over everyone's mind, and they're like, "Oh, this is going to be a bad WrestleMania."
Exactly.
You know, it's going to be a really good WrestleMania, but the ending tonight too is going to be so bad.
It's going to be a pivotal. If you mess up the ending tonight too, a match that's honestly like. We did just clown it, having bad buildup. It did actually have really good buildup, but now we're getting these final moments where it's like, oh, don't ruin it, though. Like, just don't ruin it.
I'm more of a fan of what Punk and Reigns have been doing. I do wish they would have let Roman be a little more creative on the mic on Raw instead of just calling him old, because he just dropped a fantastic Twitter promo, which sold his side completely better. It was they have really done a good job with Reigns and Punk, but
yes, they have.
But better not get fucking involved.
I better not see him walk out. But yeah, so we will get into all the WrestleMania matches. We got mixed opinions. It is a little exciting times to be a wrestling fan. It is a little bit dreadful with some of this last second stuff that they're pulling out. But as always, Benny Harper here, joined by James Irvin. Let's get into episode 3 of Pander and Slander. And we're just going to start off brief little recap of the Raw that we got, the final go-home show of Raw, the big moments, and the little ironing out the last little wrinkles in these storylines. So we did get the Obafemi and Brock Lesnar signing their contract. Brock Lesnar started off the show very short and sweet, giving that one line. You aren't even going to remember his name when I'm done with him. About all Brock needed to do in this. Oba, though, when he came out to sign his contract and he cut that promo against Paul Heyman, James, I was kind of going back and forth in my mind of like, who do I really feel like has the momentum and has the it's going to win the match? That promo just told me so much different. The way that he showed that eviction on the mic, the way he called out the Beast Incarnate, I just thought it was great. I also thought it's important to note that Paul Heyman reached out that hand and said, hey, my door is always open.
And like, that would be interesting because eventually you can't keep, you could keep Obafemi face forever. He's really, really good at what he's doing. But I feel like eventually, a couple years down the line, a heel Obafemi is dangerous. And aligning him up with Paul Heyman, like that just makes more sense. But what shocks me is Oba doesn't need Paul Heyman to cut promos. Normally you put Paul Heyman with guys like Brock Lesnar, so like they don't speak, they just muscle. Obafemi cut a really, really good promo, and to me, if CM Punk keeps winning, I think the very next man in line should be Obafemi, and I think Obafemi should go over. I think WWE a lot of the times has not capitalized when their stars are the hottest, and then the moment when they do capitalize, it feels watered down. I think Obafemi's the hottest thing in the company right now. I think he's world champion.
I think the only 2 times that I can think of that they really successfully jumped on someone being that over in the moment and like, hey, we need to put a world title on them is Kofi Mania when it happened, and Daniel Bryan is the other one.
They finally listened on Daniel Bryan. Those 2 moments are just fantastic.
And then you just gotta look at the pop. Like if you capitalize, because there is no doubt that Oba's the most over guy in the company right now. The way every arena reacts when they hear his music, it's like their heart drop, their jaws on the floor, they're ready to he has me all into him. I just pulled an autograph card of his and I'm freaking hyped, so he better win a world title in my eyes. But it was just a great promo. I do think it is important to note, though, I don't think it's just going to be a one-off thing with Paul Heyman trying to recruit him. I think that is going to be a storyline. But like you said, it doesn't have to be the words of someone. It is probably going to be more of like when Paul Heyman aligned with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is a guy that's good on the mic, and then he put Paul Heyman with him. It was a great freaking moment, and it really like put over both of them in the vision in that moment. Then all the injuries happened and pivots happened from there. But still, nonetheless, Paul Heyman can still be effective with a guy that's good on the mic, and I do think it's going to be something to track going forward. And it could piss off Brock Lesnar. The fact that Paul Heyman even reached his hand out. So that could even become a storyline there. Good promo, though. Good segment.
Fantastic promo.
You mentioned the limited amount of buildup that these two have had to their WrestleMania match and what they've been able to do with it by simply just not overcomplicating it. Gunther versus Seth Rollins right now is a match that has a lot of heat in my eyes. Within it's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks of buildup is all we got for that match. And I think it's a highly anticipated match. Simply coming down to Gunther saying, you walk around like you're the best, but you dodged me as the champion and walked around with Paul Heyman instead. So now I'm about to show everyone why I am the best and you are overrated. I think it's just a very simple, makes sense, and gets me hyped for the match.
Gunther versus Seth Rollins is always going to be a good matchup. They had a mini feud when Gunther was Walter, actually back in 2019, and similar same thing here with a face Seth Rollins and a heel Gunther. And in my mind, heel Seth Rollins is better on the mic, but you watch some of those early 2019 face Seth Rollins matches, he was elite and definitely in his prime during those matches. So I am just really, really excited for this matchup. Honestly, you don't even need to build the match for me. I am a huge fan of both of these guys. And so just seeing these two at WrestleMania, Triple H is going to give these guys 15 to 20 minutes, and it's going to be real professional wrestling. And again, Benny, you mentioned it. You just showed that pro wrestling can be simple. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton should be simple. They made it complicated. They have kept this as simple as possible, and it's been a better build. And like you're right, it has more heat on it, like wrestling good heat on that match than your main event.
And honestly, and they added that nice little caveat to the story too, where we all thought maybe Paul Heyman recruited him, but it did come out that Gunther just attacked him. And when Paul Heyman went to give him the big thank you that he owes him, Gunther simply said, "You owe me so much more." And now we got to figure out what that means. It doesn't necessarily spoil a winner to me. I don't think that makes Gunther the winner, but if Gunther won and he has that Paul Heyman favor in his back pocket, what does that turn into? Does it turn into, hey, Paul, throw me a Brock Lesnar bone so I can go retire him? Is it, hey, I want to be your next guy? Hey, I don't know what that ends up becoming, but just the fact that okay, Paul Heyman owes Gunther a favor now, and that nice little caveat on the story, I really like that. And you still kept the actual match very simple, but you gave a bone to build on after Mania. It perfect and simple. I couldn't ask for a better story right there. So,
and to me, Just let Gunther kind of stand there and smile, and he gets his little funny one-liners that he's really good at doing. You let Paul Heyman take majority of these Gunther is the next Paul Heyman guy. I don't hate it. Gunther, in my opinion, better promo than most people give him credit for. But you got
look at all the cheeky
Gunther
stuff
coming after that world title as well. I feel like you kept him out of that title picture for too long.
Yeah. Well, when I first started watching, I'm like, dang, this Gunther guy just always looks like he has gold on him. But now I'm seeing him without gold, and he almost looks weird. Like he's just a guy that deserves gold. And I get he's a very controversial because a lot of people hate him for what he did with the whole Cena, retiring Cena and everything. And some people think he's overrated. I just think he's really good at what he does. He's so good at playing heel. He's good on the mic. He's underrated. You got to just look at the cheeky stuff he was doing after retiring Cena and AJ Styles on the mic. He's very good at playing that. I'm going to stick a knife in you and twist it.
And how good was that Gunther versus John Cena match, by the way?
Fire. Banger. You can think what you want on the finish being sentimental with Cena. Just the overall match, though, was an absolute banger. I would rate it an A+. I thought it was a freaking phenomenal match.
People give Gunther a lot of credit. And sure, the Jey Uso matches were bad. But you give Gunther, how good was that Gunther AJ Styles match?
Awesome. Phenomenal. No pun intended.
You give Gunther a good dancing partner, he makes magic happen, and Seth Rollins is a fantastic
What about the end to the Royal Rumble when it was Roman Reigns?
How good was that?
That was a fire ending. He kept going for sleepers. I thought it was an interesting tactic, the way he sold going over the... He's just a great performer. He's great at what he does. So we'll head into the next segment that we'll spend some time going over. Only 2 more. Now, this one, we'll keep it short and sweet. It was Io Sky versus Kairi Sane, a match that I expected to happen on the Monday Night Raw. But the outcome, I predicted to a way that just disappointed me. I told the person I was watching with, I'm like, this is simply going to end with Asuka getting involved, costing Io Sky. Kairi Sane's going to win. Adam Pearce comes out, announces this match on Mania. I thought it was going to be a Mania match where Kairi Sane finally then says enough is enough, betrays Asuka in the moment, causes Asuka a Mania win, or costs Asuka a Mania win, and Kairi gets to move on with her life. Io Sky goes over. That way we get Io Sky on the Mania card by not maybe just being like a battering ram for Jade Cargill during that match. Just a little disappointed that didn't get announced.
I have to agree, Manny. I have to agree. It is. I don't know why this match isn't on Mania. I hope they do announce it. If they do it Raw after Mania, you better give those ladies 30 minutes because they're going to put on an absolute banger. You said it right. Like a story that has actually also been being built and is being built well, being built way better than Rhea versus Jade. Honestly, I'd much rather see this than Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill.
Honestly.
Because that match has potential to be, it can be really good. Trust
me.
It can be really good.
Definitely could be.
I see that, but man, do I not have high hopes for it. I hope they surprise me, but I really just think that is going to be a
I thought there was a lot of potential too because of the tweets that came out after Elimination Chamber and then like real life heat that they seem to have. I thought there's so
Rhea
much.
Ripley needs this win. Rhea Ripley needs this win.
But now we'll head to the main event. We'll wrap up our Raw recap. It was the Roman Reigns CM Punk kind of like bro off where they complimented each other, but also told them that they hate him, the other person, because of that very same reason. Roman hates CM Punk because they chanted his name for 10 years, but he hopes that when he retires, the fandom loves him the way that they love Punk. It was a very interesting segment. You had CM Punk give Roman Reigns compliments and apologize for putting Sika's name in his mouth, but also then say, I hate that you had a silver spoon in your mouth and I had to grind indies for years. I thought it was an effective promo, but all that aside, did you notice the we? Roman Reigns just kept implying, we're going to fix this. We are going to take this championship back and fix the company. Who the hell is the we? Why did it have to be a we?
Well, I think with the tweet Pat McAfee just put out, basically implying that, I think this means to what some people have been speculating. This is probably going to go to a full-blown TKO versus WWE. and you're gonna have the TKO team is kind of overpowered. Just Roman Reigns and Randy Orton. They might need to drag John Cena out of retirement to come help defeat this team. But yeah, it is the potential of this match, the potential of the final matchup could be really, really good, especially if you got Roman, Randy, whoever else fills in for Team
and then
T.
Cody and CM Punk on the other side.
And then on WWE, Cody, CM Punk, whoever at Survivor Series. I think there's opportunity for that to be really good.
So now that we bring up TKO and this whole and now, like you said, that tweet definitely implies that Roman Reigns is Team TKO, and we might be getting shenanigans at WrestleMania, unfortunately. But now we'll head into our next segment here, which is the TKO
Benny, hang on.
and McAfee talk. Yes.
1 second. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, I thought that was an absolute perfect promo. They went in that felt really, really genuine. That felt like it was Joanna Hawaii talking to Phil Brooks there for a second, and when they were giving each other respect and credit. Very quickly switched to Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. And again, the Roman Reigns promo, that Roman Reigns promo is better than any of the promos he's cut thus far on CM Punk. Again, this CM Punk promo felt just really genuine. I thought this was the perfect way to leave it off. Roman Reigns posted a car promo on Twitter. Go watch that. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I was going to say he really needed that car promo too, because Roman just kind of he didn't get the win on Monday night. He didn't. It was a very 50-50 we're respecting, and that came directly after what we all witnessed, which was the CM Punk Pipe Bomb 2.0, where he went off on Roman Reigns. He went off on TKO. So Roman really needed that car promo to put him back up one more time right before Mania.
And Benny, I got to be honest with you. There's 2 people that I can think of, potentially 3, that can hang with CM Punk on the mic. That is John Cena. And if you go watch his work with MJF and AEW, that might be CM Punk's best feud ever. That MJF promo, he was hanging with him. I would also give a shout to Stone Cold to who could hang with CM Punk. But there is not many people in the history of wrestling that can go toe-to-toe with CM Punk. So Roman Reigns was never going to win the promo battle. Maybe Paul Heyman probably cut a pretty good promo on CM Punk.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is never going to do that. So, but the fact that he cut that car promo and where the feud is at now, I like. But I don't. But if TKO is going to get involved in this match,
if you can, let's put it this way: you can get involved in one of my main events. I don't want you to, but you can get involved with one. You better not touch 2.
Because if this does go full blown team WWE TKO, and they do it right, could be very good. I could see the potential because it already has a lot of heat. People will hate it and could build a star. But however, knowing what this is, it's I don't want to have Speed versus Pat McAfee. I don't want that. I don't.
Yeah, part of Team TKO is going to be Pat McAfee. Part of Team WWE is going to be Jelly Roll. Next year's WrestleMania match is going to be Pat McAfee, Jelly Roll. All those memes are starting to get very real.
If it's that, Benny, it's going to be what the fuck was the point of this?
Yeah. And there's a very high likelihood. So let's just jump right into it. I mean, we're kind of talking about the TKO Pat McAfee mess that has been happening for 3 weeks now. I did just ever since they debuted Pat McAfee as the guy to be on the end of the phone call with Randy Orton, things have been going downhill with the storyline. Let's also just say that didn't feel like that was the WWE's initial plan. I don't know if you feel the same way as me, James, but that did feel like a TKO pivot. That did feel like, hey, we still need to sell some more seats. We need to get some more ESPN Plus memberships. We think Pat McAfee is really big, and we want to put him in here because everything just pointed to Cowboy Bob Orton. Just really step back and think about what we were witnessing in that lead up. It was Randy Orton cutting promos in front of pictures of his granddad and his dad and the legacy of the Orton family. It was him in that very first time he was on the phone saying wrestling has more than one royal family. Well, let me tell you, Pat McAfee's not part of your family. So what the hell did that even mean? It meant that it was supposed to be Cowboy Bob Orton.
I don't know. Like, it was weird. The build is weird. I think Randy Orton's going to win. He's going to win in the wrong way. He's going to need Pat McAfee's help, and it's just like, no. It'd be cooler if Randy Orton punts him. Like, if Pat McAfee convinces Randy Orton to punt him, okay, that's a decent way for Pat McAfee to get involved. But yeah, I do think Randy Orton's going to win. I think that was the right call from the beginning. I like that Randy Orton's getting this title, but I just want Randy Orton to be heel.
To do it himself.
And Benny, the problem is they've built this match to be Pat McAfee versus Cody Rhodes, not
and they have.
Cody Rhodes versus
because what did we just see online? It was Cody Rhodes not going to Randy Orton's house to destroy his house. It was Cody Rhodes sneaking into the Pat McAfee facility and destroying his entire set. It's literally Cody targeting Pat, not Randy. And that's the problem here. This was such a layup. It is Cody versus Randy. A story that's been writing itself for 20 to 25 years.
Because, like, imagine if Randy Orton, like, had the title and he was facing someone else. And then they actually ran with Pat McAfee versus Cody Rhodes. And then and then Randy Orton's out being heel, doing his own thing, facing like a face Sami Zayn, who underdog story that they've been trying to tell, or a face, you go with the young guy, you give Carmelo Hayes a shot to something, just Randy Orton versus anyone else. And then they built Cody Rhodes versus Pat McAfee. It's like, I think people's opinions on this would be a lot different.
Without a heel turn, what if we just simply ran Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton?
What if we did that?
Like, I don't
Randy
think
Orton
that's
versus
a
Jacob
necessarily
Fatu.
Bad idea.
Randy Orton versus Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. Or like literally it could have been Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton run the triple threat. Cody Rhodes is busy with Pat McAfee. Randy could turn heel in the main event and attack Jacob Fatu and capitalize on it. You could have still had a heel turn if you wanted to, but it would have been a banger of a match. There's just so much going wrong there. Now, we are going to flash back a little bit in time here because I want to ask you a question. Was it a shoot or a work when Cody Rhodes cut the unscripted promo that felt like it was directly attacking TKO and their decision of Pat McAfee being debuted that night, where he called it like if NWO told you they had the third member instead of Hulk Hogan, it was Disco Inferno. Like he was just shooting on the entire decision. Then you had CM Punk bring it up in the pipe bomb, saying if you want to fill seats, lower the ticket prices, and even calling out Pat McAfee's agent, which is part of the board of directors of TKO. Is this a shoot? Is this a work, in your opinion?
I think they're working themselves into a shoot. Like, they're telling us it's unscripted, so that kind of like it's half scripted. I think they probably were like, go say something along the lines of this, and they made it their own, which is always like better in my opinion when they allow wrestlers to do that. But yeah, Benny, like you're right. Like I just think they're working themselves into a shoot. Like at the end of the day, I think this is a work/shoot. It's kind of both.
I live in this world of thinking. I do think the WWE, those two shots. So I read rumors that apparently CM Punk went way farther than they imagined he would have gone. They did,
which is true. Probably
they did want to say something about Pat, but then he started going off. The Cody felt very personal. I do think half of it is a very real WWE is trying to call out TKO for you are meddling here with our business, and they do not like it. Talking about the fans in that scenario, the fans have not liked their decision making. And I really do think that was a very real thing. That, like you're saying, I believe it's going to be worked into this work. I think it will become a storyline because the WWE has been very good at living in that world of something very real happens, but now we make it a storyline and we move on. Now, is it going to be Team TKO versus Team WWE? It seems to lean that way, but at the same time, you also need TKO. I get people already don't like them, but you also have to get them to play ball to kind of lean into that and play that heel persona and label themselves as this bad company when they're a legitimate corporation that could see bad payout from being labeled a bad organization like that.
Well, I think people want the WWE and TKO to split, but like if they run this, that just kind of means they're merging more. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know what the end goal with that is going to be.
I think
they're teasing it though with the Roman.
They are.
I don't know, man. It'll be interesting.
And like I said, I mean, TKO right now, just a little history lesson. When they got in, they made that partnership with Vince McMahon when he was still at the company. And there was this handshake promise that Vince is the daddy of the WWE. He knows what he's doing. We won't get involved in creative. We all know what happened with Vince McMahon. Triple H steps in. That agreement isn't there. And since that agreement hasn't been there, there has been obvious times and times where it's been reported that the TKO decided to make their own decision and pivot during what always seems to be WrestleMania season, meddling with the damn biggest show on your year. Going back to WrestleMania 40 when they wanted to replace Cody Rhodes with Dwayne The Rock Johnson at Mania. They're on The Rock versus Roman Reigns just for the entire WWE universe to chant, "We want Cody." And Cody Rhodes gets put back into Mania because they realize, oh, we made a bad decision. Should have stopped there, you think, James?
I think so.
Very next year, though, they go, you know what? What if we bring in The Rock again? But this time we bring him in with Travis Scott. And apparently, from what I've read in reports, I don't know if it's exactly true, so don't take it for religion. It might have been already a planned John Cena heel turn, but from what I've read, it was kind of Paul Levesque. Only way he can make it make sense is a Cena heel turn. And the way that even came about was because they wanted to bring in Travis Scott and The Rock. And then the meddling happened at WrestleMania 41 for The Rock to not show up at Mania and for Travis Scott to be out of contact with the WWE like a month later because he didn't want to do it anymore. Ruined an entire half of a year of a Cena retirement tour.
And like, there is some really good stuff from heel John Cena, and I do appreciate those very early promos because it was really, really great. But you said it kind of best, Benny. Like, it feels like it keeps going too far. We keep taking it to another level. We keep
now
doing what we should be doing.
Yeah, now we're sitting here, and now literally it's Pat. It's not even just TKO this time. It is Pat McAfee's agent / TKO board member, which is a weird dynamic there, who literally came out and admitted, yeah, I was the one who decided that Pat McAfee should be brought in. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I feel like Triple H, I feel like he should get a little more say in what was going on, because like when Triple H was just Triple H, the show was kind of good.
It was good.
It was really
had a very good start. You got to go back to NXT Black and Gold days when he was booking down there and just think about how phenomenal that show was. Like, don't get me wrong. Triple H has a little bit of blame still to be put on his shoulders right now. He's not perfect. He hasn't been perfect in his decision making. But now the more I learn about TKO meddling in their damn script writing room, I got to be a little bit more lenient with Triple H. I don't know if it's all his fault. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors and the power dynamic and the power struggle that's going on behind closed doors, because it seems that there's very clear and obvious power struggle going on right now. So it's kind of all I have about the TKO situation. It's unfortunate. We'll see how it plays out. I do think it's going to come at the expense of fans if this is WWE trying to split themselves away from the TKO. We don't even know what that would necessarily look like in the fallout from that. But it also seems like they are starting to work together towards this Team TKO, Team WWE. And I agree, if it's done right, it could be a good storyline. We saw like the storyline of the Authority, this Authority heel figure and faction, whatever, just creating mischief across the. It worked before. I just have low expectations that this one would work. So now we will head into our Mania segment, WrestleMania predictions. We are officially, 1:00 on Thursday. We are about 2 days out from WrestleMania officially starting on Saturday and Sunday, our 2-day slate. Now we're going to take some time to go over the card and predict our winners for both James and I, and go over some of the things we do believe will happen, maybe outcome-wise or during the match, big spots. So let's just dive right in, James.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So we are going to the Saturday slate, and we'll start off with the very first match. It is the 3-way tag team match. You have the Vision and I Show Speed attached to them, going against the Usos attached to LA Knight. And we'll start off with James. Who do you think is walking away the winner of the opener to WrestleMania?
I think they go LA Knight and the Usos. I think they get a feel-good win. I think the crowd's going to be eating early. And so I think you do that. You give them LA Knight the win. I think I Show Speed turning on the Vision is what happens in the match, and the crowd ends up liking it. I think Speed's going to do really well in the ring. But, yeah, I think it's WrestleMania. You want the crowd to be hyped early. I think you want to get – and say what you want about Jey Uso, but he can get a crowd eating.
He can get a crowd yeeing. He can get that show kicked off. Both the Usos. You got LA Knight. You just got 2 very over guys with the crowd. And then the brother Jimmy Uso, who's also a good performer when he's with his brother. I do believe Team Uso and Knight is going to pick up a win. I can't see a world where they are going to give a win to the Vision with I Show Speed attached to them. Whether it is, like you said, I Show Speed maybe turning on them, saying, I don't really want to do this. I never really wanted to be with y'all. I could see it being I Show Speed costs the Vision in some sort of way, and maybe the Vision takes it out on I Show Speed, and it's just another form of the Danhausen curse continuing to affect them at WrestleMania, because this man has been cursed ever since Danhausen entered the picture. So
it's really fun.
Yeah, it's been a fun thing to watch. He's actually, out of all the celebrities they brought in, I Show Speed's done it rather well.
And I like Danhausen, man.
Comedy. Danhausen has been a great addition to the WWE so far. Just the fact they're using it on both brands. They even
I knew it was gonna work. As soon as he debuted, I was like, this is gonna work, I think this is gonna do really well.
And it really has. He's so over. I was telling my buddy, we were watching that Raw on Monday, and I saw like at least 15 Danhausen shirts right in the front seats of the crowd, just showing you how over he's been. Finally had his first in-ring action too, beat Kit Wilson. That was fun. But he's been a fun addition. I do think his curse is going to continue to get speed. Usos and LA Knight win the opener to Mania, get everyone on their feet, happy, yeeting to roll right into the first. And the next match that we are actually going to be getting into for our predictions here is the first stipulation match of WrestleMania 42, and what I think could be the best match of the card. It is unsanctioned match versus the Scottish Warrior and the Samoan Werewolf, Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. You went first on the first one. I'll give my prediction first this time around. So I do believe that the Scottish Warrior is going to walk out of this match victorious. I do. I think you got to give him a good win here because you took the title off of him in such a interesting way with a forced Cody Rhodes title shot on a SmackDown. I think you build him back up here, and then maybe he can start targeting Randy Orton. Maybe he goes after another person, starts a 2-month-long rivalry. He's great at making rivalry matches and making them last. This is another chapter in his book. I do have the Scottish Warrior winning in this one, with possibly the MFTs causing some mischief as my prediction for Jacob Fatu with no DQs.
Yeah, I think that's right. I like the bold prediction there, Benny, of Fatu and McIntyre being the match of the night. But to me, man, this is a tough one to predict because, Fatu kind of also needs a win here. You want to build up too. So I think I'm going to go Fatu. Here. We'll keep score of our predictions here on this recording. But yeah, I think I'm taking Fatu. I think I'm going to take Fatu to win. And I think this probably ultimately leaves to McIntyre maybe stepping away from the company and taking some time off before returning.
Yes, this is true. I do know that he also has a movie I think he's about to be filming for as well. So it could be a way to write him off screen here in this match. Another prediction I have for this match, when you have this type of unsanctioned match, no DQs, no countouts, WWE's stepping away, it's not in their hands. I think this match is going around the stadium, around the stands,
I think so as well. I think
around the
it's gonna be a
parking
fun
lot.
match, Benny. You're right. It probably could be easily be match of the night. But yeah, I do think Fatu gets the win. I think we're gonna see some wild stuff. I think we're gonna see some blood, and I think it'll be nice. It'll be cool.
A little bit of blood, and so that's the first stipulation match of Mania, and then right after that, I mean, we're going from one heater to another heater, and this is where we start talking about the card is stacked from the top to bottom. The next one is the Visionary, the Ring General, Seth Rollins versus Gunther in this match that's very highly anticipated and only built in 3 weeks that we are raving about. And I'll let you lead us off on this one.
Yeah, Benny. I think Gunther wins. I think Gunther beats Seth Rollins. I think they go on with the favor with Paul Heyman. I don't necessarily know what that means for Seth Rollins now, but I think Gunther gets this win, and you just keep building him up as the top heel in the company. That's kind of what he is right now at this point. He's the top heel in the company.
Yeah,
I know the WWE wants it to be Pat McAfee, but
I know if he's not, then you better point me out one that's more over as a heel than Gunther right now. He gets so much heat every time he walks out there. I do have to agree with you, James. I think the Ring General will be picking up a win here. Now, a question. I'll throw this out here for you, for our fans and everything. Do we think Braun Breaker is coming back at Mania? Do we think Braun Breaker might get involved?
Yes. I think that's a realistic possibility. I think that'd be a cool moment to kind of, squat. He's been cleared for in-ring action. So it's a very realistic possibility. There's a time to pull that trigger at WrestleMania.
And I mean, this, at the end of the day, even if Braun doesn't get involved in this match, let's say maybe it's the Monday Night Raw after Mania, with the Gunther win here, it advances Gunther. I think you tell a better storyline with the owed favor from Paul Heyman with a win for the Ring General here. But then Seth Rollins kind of starts downward spiraling a little bit. And then Braun Breaker returns on that Monday Night Raw and calls out Seth Rollins. And then we dive right into his next rivalry. Rollins doesn't necessarily need to be pushed into a title scene immediately right now. He did just have it. He did say he's going to come after that title that he never lost in one of his promos, but I think he'll be tied up with some vision business after Mania, and I think you just push Gunther. Maybe Gunther, if Punk walks out champion, you could easily run back Punk and Gunther. Easily. Freaking, they put on a banger of a match when they fought each other.
100%.
If Roman Reigns walked out champion, Gunther could come for him for eliminating him at Rumble very easily. Make that storyline. And Paul Heyman could probably make that match available, as the wise man he is, as an owed favor. So there's a lot going on there. I think it is going to be Gunther getting the win in that match. Now, the next one on the card for Saturday night is probably going to be a very chaotic one. My mind goes a lot of ways in this match for a winner. It is the 4-way women's tag team match between the Bella Twins, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra, and the Irresistible Forces, your current tag team champions, Nia Jax and Lash Legend. A great match that honestly has had underwhelming, not even build-up. They told a story with this tag division for a while now. It's not being well received from the fans who talked about a lot for how many stars are in this match. I mean, you got the Bella Twins back from retirement. You got Charlotte Flair, one of the best women's wrestlers in our company, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Nia Jax, and then 2 young up-and-comers, and Lash Legend and Lyra Valkyria. Feels like people should be behind this match more, but that's just not the case from what I've seen. Now, when it comes to picking a winner, I do lean more towards Bayley and Lyra Valkyria right now. I think they built them well in the past couple weeks. I think it's time for Bayley to have a WrestleMania moment after she got booted out of last year's WrestleMania in favor for Becky Lynch coming back. So that's where my mind leans. I go with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
To me, I think they go with the Bella Twins.
Mm-hmm.
That's a personal prediction. That is nostalgia based. I love Nikki Bella growing up. No shame in it. But yeah, no, I think the Bella Twins win. That's literally a personal pick. And I don't think it's Lyra Valkyria and Bayley for one specific reason. And that's because I think Lyra Valkyria is turning heel on Bayley at the end of that match. I think they've been teasing the Bayley heel turn. I think you need to do something with Lyra Valkyria. She needs something to make a heel turn against Bayley is the right call.
I really do like that, actually. That's not a bad shout. I mean, it could also be the vice versa with what they've been teasing Bayley turning on Lyra. Bayley gets mad that they lost. I wouldn't be mad at that. But if you told me Lyra Valkyria gets the heel turn, that actually gets me really excited for the future of Lyra. The only thing is, just never seen anything heelish out of Lyra. It would be a new domain for her to go play in. You better hope she
can deliver
in it. But I do think it is going to be a new champion. I don't think the Irresistible Forces are holding this championship outside of Mania. I'm pretty confident in that that prediction. Watch them win, and then we come back to this moment. And it's like, haha, Benny. But I don't think they're going to win. I do like your idea. If I had to say there's going to be a crazy moment, I mean, nah. I like yours.
I also wouldn't mind Charlexa win. I was going to say, I would not mind if they won.
No, I wouldn't even mind if you told me they broke up. Like, they got so mad that Charlotte Flair gets mad and breaks up with Alexa Bliss. He did have the moment at the Royal Rumble that you could kind of lean into, where I do think it was accidental in that moment and not planned for Charlotte Flair to eliminate Alexa Bliss at the Royal Rumble, but it happened. So now we can build on it and make something happen from that. I could see that, but I like yours. If anyone was going to turn, it would make more sense for Bayley and Lyra Valkyria because they teased it a little bit more. They've only had tag teams go at Charlexa for your friendship being fake, like on the center. But it is an interesting match. I don't know how you feel about like the anticipation for the match, if you agree with me, but I feel like it's not one of the most talked about matches on this card to have all these huge names involved.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, this is just kind of what the women's tag team division is. They haven't necessarily done a good job building up with the women's tag team division. It can be great. It can be really, really good.
There was a little bit.
They haven't necessarily built up that division as much as they probably should have. But I think this match will be fine and it will serve its purpose.
There was a little bit there where the tag division for the women's was like, oh shit, is this like the best division in all of wrestling? Because you had Rio in there at that time, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. You also had Julia and Kiana James playing part in the tag division. The Secret Herbalist, Chelsea Green. Like there was a little bit going there, and then you took Rio out of there, which really felt like the whole legs of that tag division.
I would agree. I would agree.
So, but you had to take them out of there. But anyway, we will head to our next match. Once again, another title match. Women's Intercontinental Championship. The rematch of AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Now, this should be an absolute banger of a match. Elimination Chamber match was really good, in my opinion. I thought they excelled very well. They have really good in-ring chemistry. So I'm excited to see at WrestleMania. I remember when we did the pod for Elimination Chamber, like we were talking about how really felt like AJ Lee was and Becky Lynch was a WrestleMania match. And now we're speeding it up at Elimination Chamber. Here we are running it back. Who do you see winning this match, James?
You know, I think, man, this is just another tough one to predict because do you really want to take the belt off AJ Lee right now? She just kind of got it, but also Becky Lynch with the title I do think AJ Lee retains. I think we go AJ Lee retaining.
Okay.
I don't think you want to take the belt off her right now, but I could easily see Becky Lynch winning it and getting that title back just because she's there on a weekly basis, and the Women's Intercontinental title with her as a heel think you can do a lot more with that. There's a lot more faces in the women's division than there are heels in the women's division, which is just another issue that WWE keeps running into themselves. Like, look at Gulia. Who can Gulia fight? Well, I don't know. We need more heels in the women's division. So,
yeah, it is true. Well, I guess for Julia, she is the heel. They kind of need more baby faces in the United States Championship on SmackDown, because really it's only been Selena Vega, which she turned heel with Aleister Black, so you took her out of the picture. Like that division got awfully weak. If Lyra turned on Bailey, then yeah. But now this match, I do think you and I are going to go opposite here. I do know you said you could see both worlds. I just see Becky Lynch winning. That's what I see. I feel like you just got to think about when AJ Lee came back. It all started when Becky Lynch was involved in the whole CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and then Becky slapped CM Punk. AJ Lee came back and slapped Becky. Who did AJ Lee submit in the mixed gender tag team? It was Becky. Who submitted Becky at Survivor Series? AJ Lee. Who submitted Becky at Elimination Chamber? AJ Lee. Like, we can't just keep going with AJ Lee makes Becky Lynch tap out. I do think it's time to switch it up. I think AJ Lee has had a fantastic build right now. I think you could take the title off her. She's not here every single week. That's a title you would probably want defended more, or at least seen on TV more on a weekly basis, and that's why I'm picking Becky Lynch. And just because it felt like AJ Lee has picked up all these wins. Now, I say that, and what's the streak for Drew McIntyre beating Sami Zayn? He's like 13-0 on Sami Zayn. Like, it happens. It happens.
He just keeps beating them.
Yeah, and there is moments like that, but my prediction would be Becky Lynch goes forward, retains, and has a very fun title reign once again. So, because she has really good title reigns with that IC title so far. The one before she lost it to Maxine Dupree was very fun, building that heel persona. The one after losing to Maxine Dupree and then regaining it, that was another fun run into Survivor Series and into the AJ Lee match. She's just been a really good heel so far. So I would love to put the title back on her. Yeah. So from all of our top of the show cards, the tag team matches, the intercontinental matches. Well, it's time for the heavy hitters of Saturday. The first one being your Women's World Championship, Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan.
We know who Benny's picking.
We know who I'm picking.
Go ahead.
You can pull up the podcast episode. I got her shirt. I got Liv Morgan. There's no other world in my eyes. This match also just one of the best built matches. Heading into Mania. It's had 100%. So much time to breathe and tell this story, from starting with words and then just turning into what has almost been a month-long brawl between Vaquer and Liv Morgan. Like, it is just continuously, every single Raw, we're getting an advancement on it. And they're not like long, this could have been an email, you drew this out. It is just, you get in there.
This could have been an email.
Like, you get in there, you mess each other up, you throw each other into a screen, you knock your noggin against your teammate and get a fat goose egg on your head. There's been a great buildup. I do think it's Liv Morgan getting this championship, and Vaquer's had a great run. She's had the title for most of this year, ever since that was when Naomi dropped the title and we had the match for it. I really am excited for this match.
Yeah. I think this is one of the matches that I just wish had a stipulation on it, just because like it feels like it kind of deserves it. But yeah,
like
I think
no
Liv
holds
Morgan
barred or
wins
something.
well. I think it's the right time to pull the trigger. I think you go have her be the face of the Raw Women's brand. And these two women have been killing each other, trying to kill each other. It feels like a really heated rivalry. It feels really well done. I think this could be the best match of the night, and I think Liv Morgan ultimately does come out on top. And give Stephanie Vaquer her flowers. She's been a fantastic women's champion.
Fantastic women's champion. Long run. I just think it's time to switch this run. Switch to Liv Morgan. Because, like, going all the way back from before her injury, there was, like, this clear path where she was taken to challenge Io Sky for that championship. And then the injury did happen, and she was off screen for so long, and then we made her the Royal Rumble winner. I feel like we're just building right back to her being champion. I am worried, though, that there is a possibility in my head that, like, maybe Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez end up costing Liv in a sort of way. Maybe they kind of turn on Liv in a sort of way, because that conversation she was having with Roxanne Perez before, you had the whole heads collide when Stephanie back here shoved them. Well, Liv Morgan was asking her about, well, we know Finn Balor brought you in, so where does your loyalties lie? And her answer wasn't sounding positive. She was like, dead.
Yeah. I think, like I said, like you mentioned it, like they've just been trying to kill each other on Monday Night Raw every week. I hope they don't get involved and cost Liv Morgan. I don't think now's the time to pull that trigger.
I think it would be better. Hear me out. I think it would be really cool if Liv Morgan just wins her own. She goes out, wins, no shenanigans, hell of a match. They beat each other up. Maybe there's one shenanigan. Dirty Dom goes out there, knocks out a ref on accident, pulls out a ref. And then that's when we get some weapons in the match and make it a little bit more brutal. And that's kind of your quote-unquote stipulation. But that could be a little fun. But hear me out. And then the Monday night after Liv Morgan is in the ring, she's gloating with her title. All of a sudden, Roxanne Perez or Raquel Rodriguez, pick either one. There's a storyline for either. Turns around, bam, attacks Liv Morgan. Face turn. They leave the Judgment Day. Roxanne either realigns herself with Finn Balor, or Raquel Rodriguez is taking anger out from, hey, you did eliminate me at Royal Rumble, like you cost me my title shot. You cost me in the one-on-one with Stephanie back here. I really like that as a story. And then that leads into Liv Morgan's first rivalry with the title.
Absolutely. I think that could be a really fun way to do it. But like I said, there's just more story I think you got to tell with Liv, Roxanne, and Raquel. So I think Liv wins it, though.
Yep. Now, heading into main event of Saturday, it is the match that is highly dreaded, not anticipated anymore. It was anticipated for a short time. It is the undisputed WWE Championship match. Cody, the American Nightmare Rhodes versus Randy the Viper Orton. What should have been easily probably best match of the card. But just over time, we talked about it, touched on it multiple times on the show. And it's just had so much nonsense happen in these last 3 weeks to ruin the anticipation of this match. Easily,
yeah.
But with that being said, I think you kind of noted on it a little earlier in the show. Who do you have winning this title shot?
Well, we've talked about this storyline because, like we said earlier, it's so bad that it's taking over everything about this show. And it kind of took over this podcast, I feel like. So, But I do think Randy Orton wins. I think Pat McAfee gets involved, some shenanigans. I think they do go. I think we're leading towards a TKO WWE thing. And I think step one is Randy Orton winning.
Yep. I think it's and I'd said this before even Pat McAfee got attached to Randy. Kind of even before he turned heel. I echoed it louder after he turned heel. You don't put Randy Orton finally in a title shot for his 15th after he spent damn near 2 years just looking at titles to just lose the title shot. This is the time to pull the trigger. He's getting number 15. Unfortunately, it's just through the shenanigans that are going to happen. Not a lot to really go off of or predict. I think it's just right there in front of you. Pat McAfee's going to get involved. Randy's going to win. So we end Saturday. The build up to the main event on Saturday, fire. Awesome card. Beautiful. Then I think it's going to end on a dud, leave a little bit of a sour taste in our mouth. We're going to get Triple H out there on the post show. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. And
this is a new era.
New era. And we'll head into Sunday where, once again, we are just starting off with a banger. This could have easily been Saturday night's main event. If you told me Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes opened Sunday night and told me Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi was the main event on Saturday night, I would not have been mad. That might have just been me. I don't know if that's a good look to have your undisputed championship match as an opener, but I don't really care.
Yeah. No, I think I think Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar has been the best build out of anything so far. And I think Oba wins. I think that's the right decision. I don't think you can really make any other decision. I think Oba wins. I don't think there's, like we said, it's been the best build. I'm excited to see these two. I hope it's not a squash match just because I want to see these two go out there and kill each other. Oba squashes Brock, you'll see no complaints from me.
So I'm right with you. Obafemi wins. If he would have asked me this before Monday night and he cut that promo that he did, you would have heard a different answer out of me. I was thinking along the lines of, damn, they've made Oba look so good these last couple of weeks, and they are giving Brock Lesnar no time to look good himself, that I think Brock might go into Mania and then beat Oba and come back. But still, you led into it how you did, and Oba still goes over the way he did. After he cut that promo, though, there's nothing in my soul that says Oba's not winning this match. There's just no way you don't do it. A couple predictions I could have. I do think it could be a squash match. And I think it might just be a squash match. I think Oba might go out there at a couple falls from grace. Maybe hit a fall from grace on Paul Heyman. Call it a day. Because I think Paul Heyman could go in after the match and be like, Oba, it will be your wise men. And then, bang.
Boom.
And Oba walks out of Mania. Like, I think Paul Heyman might be taking a bump. That will be my big prediction for the match. I think Paul Heyman takes a bump from Obafemi. But clear cut in stone, put the ruler on top. Heading into our next stipulation, second stipulation of WrestleMania, it is the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, consisting of some great names, a couple random ones, but overall should be a great match. Penta, JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, Rusev, Javon Evans, Rey Mysterio. What a great match this is on paper. Obviously, if you don't know anything about Penta before he hit the WWE, just go look at Penta ladder matches in the AEW and Lucha Underground, anything like that. That is that guy's bread and freaking butter.
This is going to be a banger.
Yeah, new age Jeff Hardy Penta is. He's crazy on the ladders. Javon Evans is going to be fun in this match as well. The high-flying nature that he has. I could definitely see a spot where Javon's up there, maybe going for the title, and he looks down and he's like, fuck it. And he just jumps from the top of the ladder onto someone. He'll be a fun one to watch in this match. Rusev is going to be an interesting one. His build is not built for a ladder match. But I think they're going to make Rusev look very, very good in this match.
He's going to be good. Rusev is going to have a good match. I think like you said, Javon Evans is going to do his thing.
Dragon Lee's probably going to do his thing.
So, but Benny, who you got winning?
Are you ready? JD McDonough. A little bit of my mic drop moment. I'm taking the wild, betting on the last horse in the Kentucky Derby, worst odds. I'm saying JD McDonough for the simple fact that I think this advances to JD McDonough holding the IC title for maybe literally one night. Like, just one night. Monday night after Raw.
They've done that before.
The Demon Finn Balor comes after JD McDonough, takes IC title. Finn Balor's walking around with the title as soon as we brought back Demon. I think it's a great way to advance him. Kind of a cool way to advance JD McDonough a little bit. Maybe JD McDonough is expecting Dirty Dom to help him. He doesn't. So that leads to JD McDonough leaving the Judgment Day, and we do continue the Judgment Day implosion. There's a lot to go off of storyline-wise with JD McDonough winning. That's why I think I'm going right now, wild guess of JD McDonough walking out of Mania, your IC champion.
If that happens where it ends up with Balor on the title on the Raw after Mania, you know what? I wouldn't hate that. However, I think Rey Mysterio wins. I think Rey Mysterio wins it. I think you added him for a reason.
And then Dirty Dom goes back after his title against his dad, and there is rumors that Rey Mysterio dodged the Gunther match because he more so would rather be retired by his son than by Gunther.
I think that's the right call.
That could lead to a lot of fun moments there. So we're both going and new though. We both feel that Penta's losing this championship.
I think Penta's also getting ready to go to that world title scene.
Yeah, like
I think Team WWE is going to need him to defeat TKO.
I think in like 4 weeks we figured out that Penta as a champion gas, and the universe loved it. They cheered so hard for his matches. He was defending them every single week. The promos he was cutting with the title were phenomenal. I think you're right. I think you can advance him into the next division, and we are putting it on someone new. We just think two different people. So
two different people.
We will head into the next one, which we kind of noted on. Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. I do want to just say, first and foremost, I'm highly disappointed that WrestleMania ruined the Demon Finn Balor surprise. Now, I get that he was hinting at it 2 weeks ago in a promo, and then we had another segment this Monday where it was just a random red light and the heartbeat that we're all used to with Demon Finn Balor. Just leave it there. You didn't have to give me the promo that shows that he's guaranteed to be there.
I think they definitely needed to sell tickets, though. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you bring the Demon back for a reason. I think Balor wins it. I don't think there's too much more to discuss there.
No, I'm a huge Dirty Dom fan, but even I'm in understanding that this could very well just be a squash match. We got to put Finn Balor and the Demon up in a very big way. So, heading into the next one. Now, this one is going to be an interesting one because it could consist of both a heel turn and a face turn within the same match, I think, James. It is the United States Championship match of Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. The way that Sami Zayn got booed when he walked out with that U.S. title is insane. He generated heat just by winning a title. It's kind of crazy, but it's because he took away a WrestleMania moment for Carmelo Hayes, very unfortunate, with the crazy good reign that Carmelo was having. But I'm picking Trick Williams to win the title, first and foremost. I think during the match, we're going to watch Sami Zayn turn heel, or maybe it waits until a little bit after, because they've been telling that story for quite a while, that Sami's a little insane in the brain. I think Trick is going to almost be the face in this match. Not almost, he will be the face of this match.
I do think Trick Williams does win. I think it's the right time. I think he's the hot star. And I think having Sami Zayn lose gives him more motivation for a heel turn than him winning. So, yeah, I do think Trick Williams is the winner in this match as well.
Yep. Now we'll head into our two heavy hitters, the world champions of Sunday, starting off with the second to last match. It is the women's championship, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, a match that I could really see being either really good or really mid.
Mid. I'm leaning towards mid. I think Rhea Ripley does win, though. SmackDown needs something fresh in that women's division. I think WWE desperately needs to do a draft and kind of reset these rosters up a little bit, shake things up. But yeah, I think Rhea Ripley is walking home with it. I don't think it's Rhea Ripley's only got like one title. Like she held it for a while. It just sounds wrong. So Rhea Ripley, I think Rhea Ripley getting another title, that's the right move for the brand.
I do think Miss Brutality will be winning Rhea Ripley. Now, my kind of prediction for the match is I think we're going to witness a lot of shenanigans. I just do. With attaching Michin and B-Fab and the way you did right into this buildup, I think they could come out and get involved. With Io Sky not having any type of involvement at WrestleMania 42 just feels wrong. So the genius of the Sky comes in to make a save. What if Asuka goes out there to beat up the genius of the Sky? And Kyrie's out there and gets bossed around, and then Kyrie hits Asuka, and then Io Sky hits Michin and B-Fab, and then out of nowhere we get in the ring, Riptide. Rhea Ripley wins. Somehow all of those storylines got told into one cluttered mess of a match. I do have a feeling something like that will happen. Maybe not the Asuka and Kyrie Sane extension of that, but I definitely expect Michin, B-Fab, and Io Sky to be involved in the match in some form or fashion. But I
would like that.
I do have Rhea Ripley winning though, which would make it interesting to have that, probably one of the biggest women's rivalry we've seen in the WWE in the past 5 years. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan being your world champions on different brands does lead to something down the road that could be very
champion versus champion.
Yeah. Then we will head into the main event the last match of WrestleMania, how they will wrap this thing up, hopefully with a bow and a great ending with a great match that has no involvement from TKO or Pat McAfee or any of that mess. It is
hopefully not, but I don't have high hopes, Benny. I don't have high hopes, Benny.
I don't either. It was looking really good right until earlier today when that promo from Roman Reigns came out and Pat McAfee was talking about Roman Reigns seeming to side with them. And yeah, it's not great. Now, I'm picking a winner right here, right now. It is a little bit of a biased one. I really like the guy. I really want him to continue his reign. He's here every single week. His reign has been phenomenal. It's CM Punk. I want the Punkster to walk out champion once again. Walk in champion, walk out.
I would like that because CM Punk holding the title and being out there, he's been really, really good. But man, does it not just seem like it's gonna be a Roman walking out of there at now?
Did you notice? I didn't say I think.
Roman Reigns. I think I'm going.
Did you
Roman
notice?
Reigns because I think that's what they're leading.
You notice I said I think, or I want CM Punk to win. Not I think CM Punk will win. And in my heart of hearts, I think Roman Reigns is winning this match. And I think we are telling the evil corporation story with both of your world champions being tied to them. And the WWE has to go and save itself from the corporate TKO team. I think that's kind of the story we're leaning into. So I want the Punkster to win. I think Roman Reigns is going to win.
I'm with you, Benny.
So
that's same opinion.
That's all the predictions for Mania. It is a great card on paper. I am a little excited. I am a little dreadful of them possibly messing things up. But we are just about 2 days out, one SmackDown to iron out the very final details before it all. Something else to know, John Cena being there, hosting it. Going to be fun. There's definitely probably going to be a spot between Gunther talking crap against John Cena. I don't think they're going to lay hands on each other, but if you don't have Gunther talk a little crap to John Cena, it's like, what are we doing? We just missed on a pretty easy layup of a moment. But yeah, so that's going to do it for our pre-WrestleMania pod. Thank you, James, for joining, as always. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like and comment. Tell us the match you're most excited to see, and tell us who you think is going to have match of the of WrestleMania. What match is going to be match of WrestleMania?
Match of WrestleMania, IC title ladder match.
Mine, I said earlier, I think it's unsanctioned. I think Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu going around the stadium. I think that's going to be the best one. But we're both going the stipulation matches. So tell us
match I'm most excited for. Brock versus Oba.
I would say the same too. Excited for that one. I would, if you would have asked me this before today, it would have been CM Punk Roman Reigns, but that changed a little.
You might be right. You might be right, Benny.
So, but yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. We'll be back here next week post WrestleMania to go over all the crazy stuff that happened, all the outcomes. And we'll be right back here on the Pander and Slander podcast. Catch y'all.